before Ember, I was an Ember denier. In 2019, we came back, and my wife, who's much more adaptable than I am, noticed right away that the landscapes had changed a lot. That nobody had lawns anymore. That whatever lawn was left was much yellower. And I refused to believe any of it. I told her, we bought our house in '97. It was 6 years after the Oakland fire. We knew what we were doing. This is a one-off. It'll never happen. It'll never happen again. Can you believe that? And I'm a scientist. I told my wife, look, I designed this landscape with fire resilience in mind. Everything we planted is fire resistant. I am not wrong. And I started digging into the research. It became very clear very quickly that I was wrong, but I'm a stubborn person. And so I kept on digging and digging for a year and a half until I convinced myself that I was 100% wrong because the data is there. So after a year and a half of research, first I resisted my wife for a year, then I spent a year and a half researching, and then I spent a year being angry. One of my friends tells me that I was going through the 5 stages of grief, and I think it's true because we have an emotional relation to our landscape. And so I spent a year being angry. So that was like till 2.5 years ago. And then I started cutting because there was nothing else I could do. And so for a year, I cut, and it was incredibly depressing. And then a year and a half ago, I started replanting. Now I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I have a little more vegetation than I had last year, but I'm close to the nadir of my vegetation. But every year from here on, I'm going to have more green. My point here is we all go through an evolution, a learning process, and even the most unreasonable people can learn.